Hi, BedNighters. Welcome back to another night of Bed Nights with VINVAE. Hi, Paula. Welcome to Bed Nights.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How do you feel today?
I feel good. It's been a long time coming. I'm really happy to be here. So thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. And you're looking all good. I like your hair. I like your outfit, your makeup. Everything
I
is
had
just,
to represent.
yeah, everything is giving, guys. Everything is giving. And how was your commute here?
It was good. It's a Saturday in
Mm.
Toronto, and the roads are busy, but I expected that it would be that way.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I know you're coming from a very far place,
Yeah.
and thank you so much. Thanks for
Anything for you.
thank you. I feel so loved.
Anything for you.
Okay, can you please tell bednighters about yourself?
Oh, so my name is Paula. I am an actor. I'm also a Texas, so that's what we do. And about myself, is it like fun things I do?
Yeah, you already told them your name and what you do, so that's fine. But
Okay.
if you have more things to say, we are
More
all
things,
ears.
more things to say. No, there's nothing else to say. I'm just Paula, just living my life,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's all.
Yeah, she's just Paula the beauty. Paula the beautiful one. Paula, tell Vinve a story.
Story, story,
Story.
story, story.
Story.
So the funny thing is, growing up when I was in primary school, I used to be one of those people that would come in front of the class and tell people a story. And yeah, I was storyteller growing up. So I think when you invited me for this, I was like, what story will I tell? So I spent so much time thinking about what to say. And I was like, you know what? I'll actually tell a story about something I recently learned.
Okay.
So I think recently I have been in that space of life where I have been looking back and not just my experiences, but other people's experiences around me. And I have been looking for ways to learn.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a young adult. I'm trying to figure out life, in this diaspora. So there's a lot of things that I have learned. And I think one is placing priority on the kind of people you have around you and just kind of understanding the kind of people you have around you.
Okay.
Not everybody will necessarily be, let's say if you have like a skill or a ladder, not everyone will be the first, second, third, and on. I feel like that's something I had to learn one way or the other. So I'll tell you a story about a primary school friend that I had.
Okay.
So the school I went to, it was close to like a barracks, and some of the kind of soldiers' children were my classmates. And I remember as I'm growing up, like, so there's something they call PTA. I don't know if they did it in your school, like where parents
Nigeria
come,
Parents
yeah,
Teachers
yeah, parents
Association.
teachers association.
Yeah.
So where parents will come to kind of like see their children's report card, things like that. So there's this family, both of them actually. There are two families. Their parents were soldiers at the barracks, and when they're coming, they come with a convoy. You see army men, and that time in Nigeria, and I was like, once people's parents like have power, have money,
Yeah.
they would just be closing the road and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I knew these two families as they were always helping their children, helping their kids. So very recently, when I went back to Nigeria, I met one of my classmates who
Okay.
was a child of one of the soldier people, and he was not looking very happy. I would say he was
The
not.
primary school class.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
guy?
yeah, a guy. He was
Okay.
not looking very happy. Like you could tell that, the vibrant kid that I used to know, like he wasn't that person anymore. And I was just like, oh, I'll just give him a name. I was like, Somto, how is life? How is things with you? I personally thought by now he'd be like one of these high-ranking officers in the army and all those kind of things. And I'm not saying that he can't do other things with his life,
Yeah.
but based off, the history of primary school, I was thinking like there is no way this boy will not be like a soldier and everything. So he was telling me how he lost his dad and like things changed for them. And I was like, okay. So he was like, okay, Paula, like this story is very, very, very long. We need to go somewhere and talk about it. So I was like, okay, I don't have time now. I'm heading somewhere. I just met you. Let's connect on WhatsApp. We just reconnected. I mean,
Sorry,
let's connect.
I have a question. Did you meet him again in Canada or Nigeria?
No, in Nigeria.
When
So
you traveled?
yeah, when I
Okay.
went to Nigeria. So I
Okay.
met him and we just reconnected.
Okay.
And when I reconnected with him, we just started talking, and he was telling me how life changed, how when his father passed away. So his dad passed away, and he was like telling me how life changed for them, like things are no longer the way it used to be. And I was just reliving memories. I was like, I remember the time when your dad comes, they will open all the doors, like your dad would come with convoy and all those kind of things. It was like, okay, like, yeah, that happened, but things have changed for them now. And I think for me, what I learned from his story was, because I was thinking, because I was then asking him, like, I understand, extended family, they will do X, Y, Z. What of your father's friends? What of your father's people? So he told me one story that really, really stuck to me. He was like, his father had friends, but he carried along chaff. That's what he said. And I would dig more into that. So he said that when his father passed away, like they did have like lots of assets. The father had lots of, properties and all those kind of things. But the mom had to struggle with his extended family to like on the properties. And at some point she just gave up. However, that other family that was a close family friend to them, they relied on them for like financial support. But at some point, like there's so much one can do. Like, So he told me a story of when he wanted to get into school, Unilag.
Okay.
So he went to meet his father's friend. This their family friend when we were in primary school. Their child was like 3 classes below us. So
Okay.
of course he was Somto's junior, right? So, and that's how things kept on going even when they were in secondary school. So after Somto finished secondary school, he reached out to the man, that's the boy's dad, and told the father that, oh, I'm trying to get into Unilag. You know how Unilag is? They are Igbo. For you to get into Unilag, I'm sure everybody knows this. You have to write JAM, post JAM, and even after you write the post JAM, you have to sort things out. And when you sort things out, if you're not part of the catchment area, you have to pay. Unilag is a very big and respected school in Lagos, Nigeria. So he went to meet the man. He told the man that, sir, like, you knew my father, you knew everything. Like, I'm trying to get into Unilag. I know you can help me. Like, I know you can help me. Even if you don't have the connections, help me with the money. So the man looked at him and said, Somto, I would love to help you. I was good friends with your father. But you see, my son, who was his younger, like he's 3 years way his junior, will finish very soon.
Okay.
I will pay you to coach him so that he can pass the post UME. And both of you can then enter school together.
Wait, sorry to cut you short. The man was expecting that guy, your friend, to wait for his son 3 years his junior. That means to wait for how many years, please?
So he was already out of school for a year. So he was in his second year, and the other person was maybe in like SS2 going to SS3. Yeah, so he wanted him to wait for the boy, and
2 of them,
and go, and then both of them will study together and get into Unilag.
Yeah.
So I was like, are you serious? Because I knew their families. I knew how they rolled together and everything. So in my mind, I was like, I said, that he has learned a lot of life lessons about, friends. He was like, there were periods in his life where he saw his father place his friends even over them as a family. He said that when he was growing up, there was an instance where the father had guests over. Like, you know how like barracks, high-ranking officers were coming to see them. And, you know, the father was shouting on the mom, you have to cook for all of them. You have to, go and do this.
I understand.
He said that day he was just looking at his dad like, are we members of this family or like the way his father was behaving. And, you know, he like the father even that day kind of slapped his mom. Yeah, because his mom was like, you know, she had to do XYZ before she would prepare the table for the friends to come and all those kind of things. So that is how the father treated the mom on that day. Even him, he saw it growing up.
Yeah.
But he said that when the father passed away, those his friends, all of them, he said if he just like he can remember standing in front of the table and seeing the dad and all his friends and his mom serving them, that not even one of them stood for them after he passed on.
And it's not like they were broke.
No, they were not broke. And they did not even quarrel. These were his father's associates. Like, all of them ruled the barracks. Like, they were the men. You understand? They were the men. Men. And in this case, it was something where I also saw growing up, where in the case of this other family, that they were also friends, they were soldiers and all those things. I saw how the father, you know, took his friends. He was very proud of them. Like when they come to school that time, you see, like, you know, even our headmistress there, you see her running helter skelter. So I think from his lesson, or from his story, not his lesson, from his story, I really saw that it really made me stop to think, who am I carrying along as I go through this journey of life? Like, how am I placing people, and how are they even placing me? You understand? So in that case, it's not like the man is saying that he won't help him. He's saying, you just have to wait for my son. Yeah. Like, my son, so okay, wait, Somto, you want to go into Unilag and my son will be behind. No, wait, teach him.
Teach him.
I will pay you. You don't have a job that you're doing now, right? I will pay you to teach him. Like, be his lesson teacher. I'll pay you to teach him. Then both of you can then go into Unilab together.
It's so funny because the man could have as well helped him. Yeah. I'm not feeling entitled on your friend's behalf. He could have as well helped him and paid him to be his lesson teacher.
Yeah, so I think it was a thing of where, and you know our society, you know how things work, right? It was a thing of where, like, the man when he was alive was his boss. You understand? This is his boss's child. The man is no longer alive. So this is a way of me trying to rub shoulder with wherever my boss felt he had gone to before he passed away. This is my boss's first son. My boss's first son will now have to wait for my own son, and both of them will get into Unilag together. So he wasn't saying that he's not going to help. He's saying, just wait. So that you and your he not even called his younger brother. He called him his younger brother. So you and your younger brother can enter Unilag together. I think for me, it was very interesting seeing or hearing that from him, because like, from the outside as a child, like, I saw how his dad was a very, like, you know, athletic, fit man, tall. Like, then, you know, as kids now, when you see parents, they are very, very tall. Like,
yeah, and intimidating.
And when they come with boys, you know, that's opening the car for them, opening our school gates and all those kind of things. So I was like, now I like, so it's a family that you would know. You know, there were some other families, their parents were professors, things like that. Like, they don't come with so much braggadocious, you know, movements. But this one, like, those both families, they stood out. Yeah. They were distinctive. Like, they were just there. Like, absolutely, you would know that these two family people are friends. Yeah. However, one of them's child was way younger than us. So we just know that they were friends. So I think for me, I expected that, you know, for a man that had so many friends, his children should not struggle.
Not struggle at all.
You understand? And I think with his experience, and he was telling me that they are struggling. And those people his dad held in very, very high regard, they didn't come true for them. They didn't come true for them. Instead, they wanted that example. They wanted him to wait for another year or two. Not another year, actually. 2 years. They wanted him to wait because the guy was in SS2.
Yeah, 3 years.
Then he'll do SS3. That's how they do it, right?
Yes.
You do SS3. So for Canadian system, maybe you're in grade 11 and you wait for grade 12. Then write the exam and go into school with him so that both of them can be brothers and everything. So he told the man that, okay, so it's very possible that, I can still take my entrance exam and still also mentor. He said, how would you do it? How would you do it? Unilag is in Akoka. We stay in Ojo. You will not be going from Ojo to teach him. No, it's best you stay. You wait for him so that both of you can enter together. And it made sense to him. So he was like, sir, you're actually very interesting. Like he said his mind. For lack of a better word, he said his mind, and that's how he ended that relationship. So I think what he took from it is that, you know what, I will never place my friends over my family, because that's what he did. That's what his dad did. Right? He said that there were instances the dad will physically abuse the mom when she's not, running helter-skelter when his friends were coming. Yeah. But he said those friends, those family members that his dad were just his dad, and maybe they were not, when I look at it now, maybe not that those people were bad people. They were just not where the dad placed them.
That's true.
So maybe the dad placed them in very, very high regard. This Mr. Okoro, is my this, because we always go to the beer parlor to drink and all those things. Yeah. But that's not where Mr. Okoro placed him.
You know what? So I want to tell you something, Paula. In life, when it comes to like friendship, your family and everything, sometimes you would think it's the people that, you always having fun with, enjoyment, doing.
Yeah.
So as a human being, you need to actually learn the people in your circle.
Yeah, and it's your responsibility to do that.
Yeah, learn the people in your circle. Not everyone will be there to party, to have fun, but there are people they'll always show up. Like if you need something, they'll come through for you.
Yeah.
So in life, always don't discriminate. Oh, this person isn't always, I want to have fun. This person does not do, but who is the person that shows up for you?
Yeah. And just even that thing you just said about not discriminating, it just reminded me about like a family member, although she recently passed away, but there's actually, when I even think about it now, there's actually a story I can tell from her experience. So she was way, 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 way older than me. And and when I mean way, way older, not that she was old or something. So when I say way older than me, like 6 to 7 years older than me. She died very recently of a cancerous disease here in Canada. And it was a very tough one for me. And I remember her saying to me, Paula, it's a Muslim man that is here to help me, a Muslim man and his family that is here to help me. So she's the last born of her family, and her family is back home, a family of, I think they were 9. Yeah, they were 9, and she's the last born. So she came here, full scholarship. She was a very, very smart human being. Like when you say book smart, you call her. So she came here full scholarship, and as a teenager she had her experience. I remember when I first came and I met her, she was like, Paula, don't always go for parties. Don't do this. Don't do that. That time I just came, York University. I was just like, they say they're doing party, house party. I was like, yes, I want you. Like, don't go for house parties, study and all those things. And she had this experience where at the later part of her life, same thing about friendship, same thing about like knowing who is there for you. She died alone. And not because she was a bad person, but because she didn't prioritize, like, looking back, I would say she didn't prioritize socializing. That's one. So it's just the people she has known from back home, and the people you know from back home, when they come here, they make new friends. People evolve, people, So this thing about discriminating, she was staying in this house, and her landlord and the wife, they're Muslim. They're Muslim people. She Catholic, Christian, and all those kind of things. She didn't have a relationship with them. She just pays her rent. She goes her way and everything. So it was time for her to get treatment for the cancer. She went through chemo and all those kind of things. And, the cancer really, it was stage 4 before it was identified. And the cancer really ate her. And she was very, very skinny. So, sorry. Yeah, it ate her and she was really, really skinny. But that period, she really wanted a situation whereby she was around people that she went to, school with, like family members. But her siblings couldn't come. Like, I remember her trying to reach her siblings. Her siblings couldn't come to Canada because, they were married. I remember even speaking to her brother, and brother said, my wife just gave birth to twins. I can't leave her and come to Canada. I've never been to Canada before, right? And it was the landlord. It's a Muslim man, not black, not Nigerian. It was the landlord and his wife. 3 of us were taking her to the hospital for her chemo. We're taking turns because after the chemo, like, she was very, very skinny and her skin was kind of peeling, like drying up. So they had to like apply ointment to her skin and all those kind of things. She stayed in Oakville, Oakville to North York. It's a good drive. It's a good drive, especially if you are not using the bus or something. It's a good drive. So even me, I struggled with commuting there to get to her to help her apply that ointment because she was very weak. She couldn't apply it. I kid you not. Like, the landlord that was a Muslim and his wife, they were so amazing. Like, they will come down because she stayed in their basement. They will come down, help her apply the ointment, go back up. Him and his wife, they did this thing very religiously. Like, the day I couldn't make it down there, I was fine because I knew that they will do it. So even at that point, I remember when, I'll go there, we'll just sit down and she'll be like, in this moment, all those friends I was going to party with, even family self, unfortunately, they cannot make it here.
Yeah.
But it's my landlord that's a Muslim, that is above me, that is helping me, that is coming down to help me. So I think that also taught me a lesson. You understand? My other friend's experience. He's the father's friend said that she wait for the son so that the two of them can. And in her case, he was a Muslim that was doing it for her. You understand? So I think from those two people's lessons, I have come to realize that your community, your family, your circle can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
You just have to show up as yourself.
Yeah.
Be a good person, be a kind person, and you don't know where you meet your community. It doesn't necessarily have to be you grew up with, your family members and all those. If you show up as a kind person and you're a kind person, we'll connect and we'll relate and we'll make life, we'll experience life and be a testament to each other's life and, just experience life together. And in her case, I would say they were good people too, but she was also a good person. She, at that point, it was when she passed away. I may her soul rest in peace. When she passed away, I knew that she was owing there for 2 months. And in my head, I was like, oh, wow. Like, she was even owing. I mean, we were able to clear the debts, but you can imagine someone was owing them, but they still came down religiously to help her rub that ointment on on the back that, had just gone through lots of chemo and all those because chemo is radiation, right? And they did that very religiously, even with the fact that she was owing them. So I think those two people's stories I've learned from it. And it was a call to action, because most times it's not when things happen to you that you learn, right? You also learn from other people's experiences. And I learned from both their experiences. And yeah, I'm hoping to do better in my life.
Paula, thanks so much for that story. It's so emotional. I really feel for them. And this thing called life is tricky and funny, because you just have to hope and pray that the person you actually showing up for will show up for you. You can be the best person on earth. You can do heaven and earth for someone, and when it's their turn to reciprocate, they won't show up. So that's why I said life is tricky. Talking about your friends that he was showing up for his guys and everything. Maybe he was thinking, okay, those people will also be there for me.
I don't even know if he was thinking they would be there. I think he placed them on, like, maybe if he had a friendship ladder, he placed them on a 10. And they placed him on a 2.
A 2.
You understand? Yeah. So I also believe that not everyone has the capacity to show up for you in the way you want them to show up for you. So I think wisdom and adulting is where you kind of realize that, okay, this person is my friend.
Yeah.
But maybe they're 2 in my book, and maybe I'm a 1 in their book. You understand? Or maybe I'm not even on their book at all. Maybe there is no book for me.
Yeah.
I think realizing that is very, very important. And even with family, that's the truth. Even with family, like, just realizing, how people, and having those tough conversations because I think in his case, there's also something to be learned there. He was not saying that, his last friend was not saying, I wouldn't help you. I mean, I will help you, but wait for my son.
Yes.
Yeah, wait for my son, so that your brother, wait for your brother, not even my son, wait for your brother, wait for your younger brother, so that both of you. Yeah. I mean, you've already wasted 1 year. 1 year is fine. You can waste two more years. Wait for him, so that both of you can get into Unilag together.
But that is the thing. So if that man and his dad, if they were the same wavelength, he would have actually treated the Somto guy as his son.
Yeah.
That's so evil and selfish to do. Asking someone to wait for 2 more years just because it just doesn't make sense. And that's why I said we have to keep praying and hoping that, people we show up for will also show up for you.
Yeah.
Because you can't know. You won't know.
No, you don't know.
Yeah, you won't.
You won't know.
Yeah.
And I think also with my family friend too, it was her landlord and his wife that were Muslims, not Christians.
Not even Christians.
That,
showed up.
Came through for her, showed up for her, was helping her, while even her own friends and family couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's life.
And you said you've learned so much from this. So tell me, BedNighters, like, how do you think we can navigate through this thing called life? Building community. Building community is not even about, like, you can even build and they will show for you. Like, what would you say? How do you think we'll actually know who will be there for us?
So that's a very loaded question because I personally am still learning. I'm still figuring it out. But I will say what I have started to do differently is communication.
Okay.
Like, communicate with my friends. Like, there are some times where I'll have difficult conversations with my friends. Like, okay, how could I have done XYZ better? This is what my expectation of you was at that time. You understand? I expected you to show up for me in this way.
Yeah.
You understand? And just also understand from their perspective, make sure I'm listening and not attacking them. Sure, understand from their perspective why they couldn't show up that way. And from there, I'm able to say, okay, my expectation is that you should show up for me at a 90%. but you are only able to give me 50, and maybe 50 is all you can give me, and that's where you place me, and I should be fine with that. I'll move on, find another person that, 90 is
90.
what they are willing to show me, and I'll move on with that person.
Yep.
So I think for me, what I am doing differently personally in my life is communicating more.
Okay.
Understanding people, because I don't also think it's something that you should force out of people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that you should expect of them or like force them to do. They should be willing to do it. Because what if I'm not here?
Yeah.
Like in Sumter's case, his dad was no longer here. Yeah, what if I'm not here? I want a situation that you would show up for me regardless of if I'm here or not.
Oh no.
Right. So it's not something you force people. So I'm learning to communicate better. It's a work in progress. Communication is very, very, very tough. It's tough and it's key.
That's nice. Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and I'll also reflect, and I hope everyone watching this would also reflect on it, because this is actually a very tricky, and it's not a straightforward conversation. It's not something, okay, this person is here for me, because we are human, and we can always switch up. So it's just something, you build that friendship, the family, community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Community is so important.
It's important, but yeah. And we're in Canada, when the Western world, it's only like few people that, place community building on a high, like, pedestal. Not everyone, because most people are focused on individualism here. So if you, like you said, if you want someone showing up for you, you should also try to show up for the person.
Yeah.
And this is why I admire, I don't know if it's just for the camera or for the views, I admire the Kardashian family.
Oh, yeah. I understand.
I really admire how the family move. I do.
Yeah, they are very family oriented. They stick out for each other. Yeah, that's true. I don't watch them, but that much I know about them.
Yeah, they are so family oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much, and thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
This was good.
Yeah, very good. So BedNighters, you heard Paula, you heard everything she had to say. In this life, I know, guys. You don't know who is for you. So you might think this person you always going out with, this person every Friday you're going to the bar, drinking, partying, and everything. It might not be that person that will be there for you in your lowest moment. So
exactly.
Yeah, just like Paula said, just know if it's party wavelength, okay, this person is my party person. If it's someone you're connecting emotionally with, okay, this is the person, I do this stuff with.
Another thing I'll also like to add to is the fact that he disrespected his wife because of his friends.
Yeah, and also give people grace, guys. Life is hard. So if you notice someone has not been checking up on you, give them the grace, ask them what's up. But when you see it's being consistent, then maybe they are not on your wavelength. But for the first few times, give them grace and check up on them too. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you think of Paula's story. Drop your comments down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.